They're doing a recount right now in Georgia that is meaningless. The only recount that matters in Georgia is to look at the signatures on the envelope, and you will find that those signatures do not match the people that were, many of them, hundreds of thousands of them, hundreds of thousands, and I only lost by 12,000 votes. I didn't lose. I didn't even like to say I lose. I only, I guess we're 11 or 12,000 votes short. That's out of millions and millions of votes. They just got it over the line. And one of the things that happened, I did so well, and I was told this in 2 other states, that they didn't know what to do. They panicked. Take a look at their drops at 3 o'clock and 3:42 in the morning on certain states. They did drops where you're going along like this, and then you have a spike that goes up to the ceiling and down. It's disgraceful. We can't let that happen. And I will tell you, in Philadelphia, the Republicans, that State House Republicans, are very, very upset. And it's sort of appropriate because Philadelphia has become very activist. If you look at what's going on, they don't want that to happen to Pennsylvania, to the state of Pennsylvania. And it was, I don't even like to use, it was a rigged election.
But sir, just to be clear, if the Electoral College votes for Joe Biden, will you concede?
Well, if they do, they made a mistake, because this election was a fraud. Just so you understand, this election was a fraud. I mean, they have Biden beating Obama on Obama's vote in areas that mattered in terms of the election, in swing states. And yet he's losing to Obama all over the place. But he's beating Obama in swing states, which are the states that mattered for purposes of the election. So, no, I can't say that at all. I think it's a possibility. They're trying to, look, between you people, don't talk to me that way. You're just a lightweight. Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way. All right, I'm going to go with another question. Go ahead.
So if the Electoral College does elect President-elect Joe Biden, are you not going to leave this building?
Just so you, certainly I will. Certainly I will. And you know that. But I think that there will be a lot of things happening between now and the 20th of January. A lot of things. Massive fraud has been found. We're like a third world country. We're using computer equipment that can be hacked. They talk about glitches. How many glitches did they find? So a glitch, oh gee, we had a glitch, 5,000 votes. In all cases, right? In all cases, the votes went from Trump to Biden. They didn't go from Biden. The glitches were never from Biden to Trump. So they had many glitches. And they said, oh, we had a glitch. A glitch is like the equipment is a little broken, we'll fix it up. No, a glitch is, in this case, we caught them cheating. We caught them stealing. We caught a fraudulent effort to get votes. And they said, oh, yes, it's true, there was, and there were many of them. But here's the problem. There were probably 10, 20, 30 times that didn't get caught. We just got lucky and caught numerous of them. But what that is very simple. If you look at the glitch means, right? It means, oh, we got caught with the votes. And now, let's just call it a glitch. It wasn't the machinery. And by the way, the machinery, if you look, just take a look anywhere on the internet, you will see many, many people where they're experimenting with this stupid machinery, where if you set it a certain way, the votes go from Trump to Biden. If you look at these counties, if you look at Arizona, where I was going to win very easily, I've had the biggest politicians in Arizona say there was no way you lost Arizona. There's no way I lost Pennsylvania with his anti-fuel and with his anti-fracking and all of the things that they stand against. There was no way. Now, Texas, you all said that I was going to lose Texas by a lot, 4 points. I won Texas by 8 or 9 points, right? I won it very easily. In Wisconsin, you all said I was going to lose, or the polls said, certain polls, Washington Post, ABC, said I was going to lose by 17 points. Think of how dishonest. I thought I was going to win it, and essentially I did win it. It's very, very close. It's very, very close. So we're going to win because they found, by the way, in Wisconsin, they have found massive discrepancy. Just so you understand, massive discrepancy. But they said I was going to lose by 17 points, and I won the state, okay? But it's very close. It shows very close. Whether you say win or lose, it shows very close. But when you look at the massive discrepancy that we'll be revealing, that's already been revealed. Everybody knows it. They just don't want to play it. Between big tech and the fake news media, you just put out like this little railroad trade. Now, I think it's not right that he's trying to pick a cabinet, but I can't imagine whether it's courts or legislatures, if you're going to catch hundreds of thousands of false ballots, and I'm talking in each state. And just so you understand, many, many more votes that we're talking about that we need. You understand? I'm not saying we caught 23 dead people, but we were short 20,000 votes. No. We have tens of thousands votes more than we need in all cases, okay? In all cases. So I think you're going to see something. I mean, I think it's going to be a very big story. Yeah, please.
Yes, Mr. President.
It's going to be not only a big story, it's the most important story of our time. Yes.
Yes, Mr. President. If Joe Biden takes over the White House on January 21st, will you announce a candidacy for 2024?
Well, no, I don't want to talk about 2024 yet.
Will you run a
Because
candidacy?
this is far
If and when
from
Joe
being.
Biden takes over, will you
Look.
announce a candidacy for 2024?
I and the people that work in this are very professional, and all of this stuff is coming. A lot of it came out. If you look at the Philadelphia meeting, if you look at the Pennsylvania meeting yesterday, a lot of it came out. This has a long way to go. This has a long way to go. You're going to find tremendous fraud. You're going to find fraud of hundreds of thousands of votes per state. You're going to find fraud of many, many times the votes that I need. Again, we're not talking about less votes where, 20 votes, but it doesn't turn the election. No, we're talking about thousands and thousands of votes beyond what we need to turn a state. When you see that, I think it's very hard even for the media to say that, Biden should win the state. And there's no way that Biden got 80 million votes. By the way, the only way he got 80 million votes is through a massive fraud. There's no way that he got 80 million
Can you
votes.
give us a timeline on when you're going to present this evidence of voter fraud you talked about?
Well, it's happening now. I mean, we're in courts, but we're also in front of legislatures, and we're doing very well in front of the
If you have the
states.
evidence, why not present it now?
Mr. President, if you don't think that the presidential election was legitimate, and if you think that it was stolen, what confidence do you expect voters in Georgia to have when they go to the polls to vote for, say, Loeffler or Perdue?
Well, I told them today, I think you're dealing in a very fraudulent system. I think I'm very worried about that. They are tremendous people. Kelly Loeffler, David Perdue are tremendous people. They should be in the United States Senate. They're desperately needed. But I told them today, I said, listen, you have a fraudulent system. You have a system where the flick of a switch or the putting in of a new chip can change the course of history. And you have to be very careful. I read this morning where Stacey Abrams has 850,000 ballots accumulated. Now that's called harvesting. You're not allowed to harvest, but I understand the Secretary of State, who is really, he's an enemy of the people. The Secretary of State, and whether he's Republican or not, this man, what he's done, supposedly he made a deal, and you'll have to check this, where she's allowed to harvest, but in other areas they're not allowed. What kind of a deal is that? They're not allowed to harvest during the presidential. But how can she say she has 850,000 ballots? That would mean that she's got 850,000 ballots for her. That's not supposed to be happening. That's not an election. An election should be a one-day deal. You walk in and you vote. And if you can't do it, if for some reason you're not feeling well or there's a problem, but what they did is they used COVID in order to defraud the people of this country. And the whole world is watching, and the whole world is laughing at our electoral process. The whole world is watching, and it's a very sad thing, very sad thing. And you know what? I've done a lot of things. You just saw Space Force, and you've seen the tax cuts and the regulation cuts and the way we've taken care of the vets and what we've done with ANWR and Alaska and all the different things we've done, more than just about anybody's done, and even though it's 4 years. There are those that say what I'm doing right now is the single most important thing I've ever done. And I think it may be true. It may be true. The vaccines, and by the way, don't let Joe Biden take credit for the vaccines. If Joe Biden, Joe Biden failed with the swine flu, H1N1, totally failed with the swine flu. Don't let him take credit for the vaccines, because the vaccines were me, and I pushed people harder than they've ever been pushed before. And we got that approved and through, and nobody's ever seen anything like it. and you got a big resistance in the FDA from years and years of people working there for years and years, different administrations. But the vaccines there are those that say it's one of the greatest things. It's a medical miracle. Don't let anyone try and take credit for it. But with all of the things I've done, this could be the most important, because there's been voter fraud going on, but never at this scale. Tens of millions of ballots have been sent out to people that didn't even want them. Many people, and I know you've heard, many people have received 2, 3, and 4 ballots. And many people have taken those 2, 3, and 4 ballots and they voted them. This election was a fraud. It was a rigged election. I mean, I hate to say it, but this was a rigged, at the highest level, it was a rigged election. So we have to figure it out. And yes, I think it's very dangerous for the 2 people that are running against 2 totally unqualified people. And I think it's very dangerous for our nation. And I'll go a step further. I said today, other than the fact that you have all of the eyes and ears, but the media doesn't cover it properly, because the media would, if they saw something wrong, I'm convinced the media would not report it, because you have many things that are wrong and you don't report. But if the media was honest in this country, which for the most part they're not, this would never have happened. This has taken place. This fraud has taken place. If the media were honest, this would never, ever have happened. But you have a big election coming up. You have a woman or somebody announced 850,000